did a little bit of a pelvic care, like the business of pelvic care sort of pitch deck for you guys, because what I am finding is as a teacher of acupuncture, as a teacher of pelvic care specifically for acupuncturists, is that so many of us as acupuncturists are really having a struggle with finances. We're really having a struggle with aligning our prices and bringing in clients at that price point so that we can just live. And that is not the idea with pelvic care. And I know my classes are priced a little higher, and they're priced a little higher because they're a specialty. You know, you can go on some of those CEU websites and get really inexpensive CEUs. And that's obviously not what I'm about. But this is a specialty, and this is an important specialty, and it takes a lot to get here. And if you're going to bring this into your practice, I want you to be able to make back what you spent on a class. And I also want you to be able to like parlay that into really serving your long-term goals. So I've come up with my little pitch deck here, and I always say this during classes. Can you all see my screen? Give me a yes. If you can do it, if someone can unmute themselves and say yes, because I can't actually see you right now.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So here is the business of pelvic care. So when we're talking about business, right? Business has to be you. So just because I have an idea, and this is true of cases as well, okay? Your medicine, your essence is the most important thing to your business and who you are and how you put that out there. So if something doesn't resonate, leave it behind. If it does resonate, take it in, integrate it, make it your medicine, make it your business, and bring that unique aspect of you. So marketing is that sticky, uncomfortable word that keeps so many acus from sharing their medicine with the world. Okay, so I want it to be uniquely you. I want you to love the offerings that you put out there and feel really good about them. The second part to this is utilizing funnels, right? Events equate to enrollments. And that's really what we're going to talk about today with our kind of marketing offerings. And selling, that dirty word, right, is really just sharing. People can't come and see you. People can't buy what they don't know exists. So you have to let them know that you exist. Okay, so this little first tip is actually inspired by Andrea. She just offered mini evaluations. So basic pelvic health screenings, about 20 minutes each to determine someone's perceived level of disability and also the structural findings. Now, I've worked this into my own strategy. I don't know exactly what Andrea was up to, but she inspired this. So how I would structure this, if I had 20 minutes, I would have them complete the PFDI, the Pelvic Floor Disability Index, before they walked in the door. And then I would spend a little bit of time looking at their posture, looking at their palpation, doing some palpation in standing, in lying down. And I would also work with their pulses a little bit. This would give me enough information to gauge their pelvic floor dysfunction, as well as what patterns I might be seeing in Chinese medicine. Now, the investment on your part for this, you could do this in one afternoon. Right? In 4 hours, you can get a whole bunch of people in, and you could do this one afternoon per month until you're filled to the point that you want to be filled, which is pretty exciting. Now, you can offer these for free. You can offer them at a low cost. You can also offer them as a credit or incentive. So let's say you charge $100 for this, just to keep numbers even. I might go less than that, but let's say you charge $100 for this. Then that $100 gets credited toward their pelvic acupuncture package. Or if you're really into herbs and like you can utilize this time to support them with herbs, maybe you do an herb package as well. Or if you're into group classes, I know there are some Qigong practitioners out there, some yoga practitioners out there, breathing educators, all of these things. You can also use it to credit toward their group class membership or however you structure that, right? In the same, I went the wrong way. There we go. In the same vein of this, okay, this add-on eval, right? A pelvic health screening, again, 20 minutes as an add-on for your current clientele. Okay. So this is something that it's like they're coming in for their 60-minute session. You have an add-on in your scheduler that's automatic. They get this 20-minute pelvic health eval, and you put that out there to your entire email list, and you're able to add that time on. It makes sense for your schedule. You work out all of those kinks. And again, you use the PFDI, use posture, use palpation, use pulse. You might already know some of these things. So you could actually back this up to 15 minutes for your current client list. And you could do the same thing. This is going to be an Acu session add-on, which some people, if your sessions are short sessions, like if you have a high volume clinic, you could just do a double session for this. In my practice, I have a little bit longer session, so I would call this an add-on. And the goal, again, is to then get them into a pelvic acu package, an herbal package, or a group class package, if that's your jam, right? And again, the investment on them, you can decide, is this a free thing? Is this a low cost thing? Or is this an incentivized thing? Another way to kind of warp this without calling it a pelvic health mini eval is to do cycle check-ins. These are super effective. I actually did this once where I did 20-minute cycle screenings. So this is going to help us to develop the perceived level of disability as well as a structural finding once again. So you can do the menstrual distress questionnaire, which is a questionnaire similar to the PFDI, but it will give you an objective measure. Having objective measures is very, very effective for these brief check-ins because it allows people to see a number that goes beyond just what your Chinese medicine diagnosis is. Now, here we might look at tongue, we might look at palpation, we might look at pulse, right? And of course, if we're a pelvic acu, we also want to bring this in to the pelvic floor as well, right? And we can decide how much or how little we want to do that. If you're just starting to bring in pelvic health clients, maybe a cycle check-in is a really nice bridge for you. It also gets you starting those palpations in rapid succession, right? And the more bodies that you're palpating, the more pulses that you're palpating, the more tongues that you're looking at, the better you're going to get, right? So this is actually great for educating you as well as supporting your clients. Okay, so same investment here, like do one afternoon per month. You can do it free, you can do it low cost, or you can credit or incentivize. Get them into a pelvic acu package, get them into a women's health package, or even a general health package, depending on how your practice works. You can also do an herbal package here, right? If that's your thing. So sort of switching gears from these like mini evals, if you're more into group healings, a womb healing session attracts so many people. If you have the space for that, my space is conveniently located behind a Tai Chi studio. We share the same building. It's amazing because I can do all of these group healings at nighttime or on weekends when there aren't classes going on in the Tai Chi studio. It works out really, really well. So this is a group healing. You focus your womb healing on pelvic health education through the physical experience and include lifestyle tips for pelvic health, right? We have so many potential options to help clients that have nothing to do with needles, that have nothing to do with herbs, that have nothing to do with moxa, cupping, gua sha, etc. Right? It's all about lifestyle. And the lifestyle techniques are the techniques that make our sessions be effective in the long run. So this is a great opportunity to start to get people to have a taste of you, right? So the structure here, I would work with the pelvic breath. I also might work with auricular points. Excuse me. And using those auricular points, right? You can target different points. You can use a NADA protocol. That's always great to use. You can also utilize points that are specific to the uterus, right? And then you provide education. You answer questions, right? The investment, again, pick an evening a month or every week if that's your thing. If you're teaching group classes all the time, this might be something that is like, oh my gosh, Dr. Krystal, I love this so much. I want to do this every Wednesday. Good. Do it every Wednesday. And for this, I would say set a price, pick a price that is specific for a drop-in. And then you can also pick a membership or do like a punch card system. So if it's $25 per hour for a drop-in, then maybe there's a punch card that, they buy 10 and it's $200. So $20 a pop instead of 25, which is a great thing to connect in with. People love taking care of themselves. And if we can teach them how to do that, that's a sustainable way to help us. Now, the goal here, right, if they're in a membership and you're teaching classes all the time, that's amazing. If this is kind of more of a one-off for you or a once a month for you, then eventually you want to bring them into your practice, right? So this is the way to get them a pelvic acu package. You can, or general acu or an herbal, whatever it might be for your thing. If you have pelvic steaming, some of you have pelvic steaming packages at your practice, get them into a pelvic steaming package, right? And you might be able to do that by having a coupon for them. Now that they know you, now that they've heard you, they resonate with how you coach them through the pelvic breath. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm connecting into my womb deeper than I ever have before. They felt some needling and they're like, you know what? This is for me. I'm willing to invest in this. So give them some incentive to do so. A pelvic series. I love this, and I've done this a number of times over the years, since 2009 when I began. So you do an in-person or online nowadays education event on the pelvic floor and how it impacts life, and each session is focused on a different theme. So for instance, I've done these at the library. I have done them at other PT clinics. I have done them at other acupuncture clinics. I've done them at yoga studios, on and on, right? So the structure of this is you come up with whatever your sessions are focused on. So for example, here, we could do a TCM perspective on menstrual cycles or the cycles of life, the 7-year cycles, kind of go that route, right? Explain the seasons, that kind of thing, how our body feels different at different times of the month, different throughout the seasons, etc. You could do another section on nutritions for ultimate pelvic health based on, bringing in the concepts of the 5 flavors. If you do herbs, you can bring in the concept of herbs as well. And then you can kind of add in the emotional implications, right? There's so many different structures you can choose. And these are just some examples, right? You could also, turn this from 3 into 5, and you could do the pelvis from the perspective of water, the pelvis from the perspective of wood, and so on, if that's the language in which you speak. And the investment here, 3 evenings, 1 hour each, or 5 if you do it that elemental way, and you keep it low cost for clients. Again, it's an opportunity for you to be seen within the community. When I have done this, what I have found is that I end up with some direct clients for sure that came to the series. But what I end up with more so is other businesses that are super interested that all of a sudden are sending me like 10 clients at once that I can serve that they can't serve. And that's really, really effective as well, because that's building sustainability. You could partner with a hospital for this, if that's your jam, if you have that kind of relationship, or a physician's clinic, right? And the goal here, again, get that pelvic eval. You might not be able to get a pelvic package out of this, but you might be able to get that eval. And that's really, really important. You might also be able to get a nutrition consult if that's something that you do, or an herbal consult. Okay. Finally, the last one, again, this group setting is kind of like spirit acupuncture or spirit of the points acupuncture. So essentially using the basic concepts of 5-element acupuncture, without going into depth of 5-element acupuncture, of course, offer sort of a community acupuncture event with your preset list of points that are essentially aligned with the spirit of the points of the pelvis, right? And then you can structure this community acupuncture style. Preset points focused on the spirit. You could have a menu of like, a couple of different options, maybe 3 options if this is community style, and it's something that you're doing as a one-off, like once monthly, or seasonally, have kind of a menu of options. So this is option set 1, option set 2, option set 3. They choose based on, what their spirit really needs. Womb healing, and you choose this set. Controlling the waterways, right? This set, and another set for something else. The investment here, 1 time a month, or 1 time a season, unless you're community style practice. If you're a community style practice, then, and there are a couple out there that are utilizing spirit of the points to really help bring in pelvic support. Now, they're often working with a pelvic acu that does one-on-one treatment as well. But I love this model of community acupuncturists saying, yes, we have this protocol, or yes, we have these 3 pelvic protocols, which I love, love, love. And the goal here, again, get that pelvic acu evaluation, get a general acu evaluation, get them into a package or something like that if you can. And next up, okay, Partner support. This one I love, love, love. I've done it probably 2 or 3 times over the last 15 years, but this is a great activity. And I've mostly done it just because it's cumbersome. It's usually a lot of people and it's a lot of energy for one person to handle. But if you have an associate at your practice, this is amazing. So partner support here is what I call this. So you're doing a group class or healing that is focused on education about the pelvis, connection to each other, and supporting each other. I love bringing in community style acupuncture as one sort of facet to this. I also love really bringing in partner acupressure and a component of education. Again, this is a once a month, one time only thing if you wanted it to be, or it's a seasonal thing. Keep it at a low cost. And again, utilize it to bring in pelvic acupuncture valve, general acupuncture valve. And what most of the time comes out for this, I should have written it down, is fertility evals. And then we're getting 2 partners that are in for support for fertility, which works out really, really well when the partner is on board, right? You guys know this. Okay. And then here is my oh, I totally forgot about these things. Okay. So on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I expect you do because we only put this, I think, on Instagram and on like my personal Facebook or something. I am the Pelvic Acu. And we just launched a Facebook group, the Pelvic Acupuncture Collective group. Caitlin is on this call. She's my assistant. Caitlin, I'll have you, if you can, put a link into the comments about that. That would be great. I love, love, love connecting with you guys on a regular basis. It is like my jam to want to really, really help acupuncturists who want to specialize in pelvic acupuncture and women's health, men's health, etc. So I'm here for you, and I want you to be able to utilize